What's going on, everybody? It's your host, Moose, coming live from the Sports Heap Man Cave. It's Championship Sunday for the NFL. MRod and Moose coming at you with previews of the games and, of course, going over our picks from last week. Coming right at you. Let's hit that intro.
$10
Sports.
Hope you're having a great night. It's a UFC night. UFC 246. We've got it up on the second screen. A couple parlays not going my way tonight, but that's okay. Cowboy Cerrone and McGregor about to take the stage over in Las Vegas. Well, let's talk some football real quick and get you ready for Championship Sunday. But as we always do, let's bring him in. It's the co-host. It's MRod. MRod, how are you doing on this Saturday night?
Saturday night, going good so far. I'm having a drink to a victory that I will discuss here shortly.
That's right. Don't want to spoil that, so we'll let you introduce that. But before we get going, of course, don't forget you can always watch us live on YouTube. Live or our pre-recorded shows on our channel. You can find us at the Sports Heap. And now all our podcasts are live on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and iHeartRadio. And that includes the Thunderdome Puckcast. We finally got all episodes uploaded, including episode 9 from last night. Great 44 minutes. I don't like tooting my own horn, but pretty good episode. We talked about the Lightning's action over the last week or so, their 10-game win streak, and covering a little bit of the other parts of the NHL as well, and the other divisions. So make sure you look for the Thunderdome Puckcast on your favorite podcasting platform. So let's get going, Emrod. We're gonna hop right into to last week divisional round. I'm gonna turn it over to you. I might play some sound effects to congratulate you, but let's look at those picks from last week.
Put them up.
And there we are. There they are.
Yep, so last week, nailed it. So, wow, it was 4 for 4 on all 4. Not a big win. I got enough to pay for almost half of my Viper season tickets. So,
it's chipping away.
About that.
Chipping away.
So last week I went ahead and I called on the 49ers. Wasn't very comfortable with the spread against the Vikings, but the 49ers didn't need the spread. They won. I went ahead and got the Titans. Like I told you, it was going to be a much closer game than anticipated. I was surprised the Titans won. Now I'm kind of regretting my choice. Wish I would have taken the Titans in the money line. But I took the Titans with the points. And
I wanted to take him. I wanted to take him too, and I told you during the show, while we were during the week, I'm like, man, I wish I had the stones to take Titans money line. I wanted to take him, but just like you, I kind of.
Hey, this is the second time that you went against Derrick Henry, and he proved you wrong. Let's see if you get another letter in the mail from him. But anyways, and then I went ahead and against the Packers and the Seahawks. This one was one that I thought that the Packers were going to win because of the playing in Lambeau Field, the conditions, the snow, something that the Green Bay Packers usually do very well at. But then in the middle of the week, if anybody follows me on Twitter, they saw that I would have put on there that an upset alert. That I think that was going to be the upset of the week was the Seahawks beating the Packers, because I just do not think the Packers are that good of a team. If you go look at their record, all their wins have not been that impressive, and all their losses that came against good teams. So I really thought it was an upset alert, but Packers, I'm glad that I made that bet before I had that change of heart. So Packers covered the spread, barely, but they covered it at -4. I think they only won by 5. And then we had the Chiefs and the... Who did the Chiefs play again? Why am I drawing a blank?
I know, it's like late at night. Who the Chiefs destroy? I mean, it was close. The Texans, the Texans. Yeah, the Texans. That's a game we got to talk about a little bit when we maybe on the back end when we go for our picks. But that was an early minor heart attack inducing game at the beginning. I was like, really, this is how it's going to go down with the Texans.
Yeah, I guess I forgot, and I'm sure most of Houston hopefully hopes everyone forgets that as well. And I'm sure Bill O'Brien probably was like, man, I hope this guy doesn't remember. But I remember you got your ass beat after being up 24-0. So, but anyways, yep, the Titans were up. I mean, the Texans were up 24-0, and then all of a sudden out of nowhere, Patrick Mahomes it was like a joke. I saw a meme that had Travis Henry standing next to Patrick Mahomes, and Travis Henry's pointing, and it looks, and then but the caption is, "So let's let them go up by 24, and then let's come back and beat them by almost that amount." It'll be totally hilarious. And then Patrick Mahomes had a little like a smiling grin, like he was agreeing. It was pretty funny meme. But yeah, that's what ended up happening, and they scored 51 points and they destroyed them. So I took the Chiefs, took them on the money line because the way Texans have been playing, and given the secondary and the defense of the Chiefs, they show up sometimes they don't, and also because the Texans beat them earlier in the year. So I thought maybe this was one that the Texans had figured out. So yep, so I hit my parlay, my big $47.18. So drink to that.
Drink to that. We'll have to give you some reggaeton horn action on that one. Well done, Mike. Finally hitting a $10 parlay. Let's go to Moose's picks and what went wrong. Mostly it was that Ravens Titans game, and again, I wanted to take the Titans, even just the money line. I probably should have done like you and taken them with the spread. I just thought that they were gonna get overpowered, and we talked about it in the analysis last week. I really believed if the Titans were able to hold on to the ball 35, 40 minutes and have Derrick Henry control the game, they had a good chance to win. That's exactly what happened. Derrick Henry ran for almost 200 yards. Lamar Jackson looked like the Lamar Jackson who played against the Chargers in the playoffs last year. I mean, it was crazy. It just bad. It was a bad performance from him. Really no support from the rest of the Ravens, and I mean, the Titans I think are going to give the Chiefs a run for their money. San Francisco, that game, I mean, that was just a shellacking. Kirk Cousins didn't play that badly, to be honest with you, but Minnesota's offensive line was exposed so badly. All like we talked about last week, all they had to do was run four guys. No, they didn't have to blitz at all. Joey Bosa was basically in the backfield every play. It was just really amazing to see the amount of pressure the 49ers were able to generate. Couldn't get the running game going. Dalvin Cook just couldn't get it going on the ground, and I mean, that was a recipe for an easy victory for the 49ers and covering that spread. We talked about the Packers. I still don't believe they're good. I just don't. I don't understand it. But they keep finding ways to win, and there they are in the championship game. I mean, Aaron Rodgers doesn't even look like he's having fun. Like, Aaron Rodgers just looks miserable all the time. Every time you see him on the sideline without his helmet off, he just like he doesn't want to be there. So I don't. We'll see how it goes this week, and we'll talk about our preview shortly. But Packers -4, I thought that was in the bag. I think part of the Seahawks problem, I think, when you're down to your fourth or fifth string running back and you're basically signing Lynch off the streets a couple weeks ago, yeah, you're gonna have a bad time. I mean,
he had a couple touchdowns.
Well, he had what's his name's stat line, 15 attempts, 2 yards, 3 touchdowns or whatever. It was a running back, Bilal Powell, the Bilal Powell special.
That was also this is a little throwback. You might be a little too young to remember Lindale White, but
yeah, Lindale White. I think I watched Lindale White play in college actually when I went to Notre Dame, right? But no, that was like another Isaiah Crowell stat line. It's like 15 carries, maybe 20 yards, but 3 touchdowns, salvaging on fantasy. And then the Chiefs and Texans game, I mean, oh, that's a Bill O'Brien special, and it blows me away that the Texans are okay. They're like, yeah, of course they're both the GM and Bill O'Brien are coming back next year. Like that we've had in the playoffs, we've had a couple instances of literally crapping your pants, and I mean that's exactly what happened here. I mean, the Chiefs, of course, I think are a superior team, and I think they needed that wake up call and got stuff going right there in the second quarter. But it's something that I was falling asleep on Sunday. I was just tired, but I took a quick 20-minute nap with the Texans up 24-0, and I woke up as they were walking into the tunnel for halftime, and I'm like, 28-24? Are you kidding me? What happened? And well, it was just Texans play calling happened basically. Let's punt. Let's give the ball back. Let's have a turnover, and that's all she wrote for the Chiefs there. So missing one on the Ravens. I missed out on my $80 potentially for my $20 parlay. I've been hopping it up to make it interesting. But let's move on to this week. Two big games, the two big championship games, and we've got the over-unders listed over here and the money line odds as well as the spreads. Early game is the AFC Championship game. Titans at Chiefs. MRod, what are your thoughts?
Titans at Chiefs. Chiefs have one of the worst run defense, I believe, earlier in the season. They were the worst run defense. But the Bengals and Redskins and Panthers eventually, and surprisingly, the Jaguars actually ended up being worse than them when the season ended. But most of the season, they were one of the worst rushing defenses in the league, so most teams had a field day against them. And now you're bringing in probably the hottest running back in the NFL, and I would even say one of the hottest offensive lines. The way they've been protecting Tannehill and the way that Derrick Henry's running the ball. So I'd say this game is going to come down to exact same thing as last week. Control the ball, control the clock, and give Derrick Henry all the ball. And I think the Titans have a pretty decent chance of winning this game. But also, you can never discount, that the Chiefs, when they want to, they can score 51 points in 2.5, 3 quarters. Whenever Mahomes gets on fire there. So this game is going to come down to if the Chiefs defense can control the clock and Derrick Henry can get some good running going. I'm going to say Titans are probably going to be the team to watch this one, but the secondary, the Chiefs defense did not play like it should. The Chiefs are going to run away with this one, no problem. Because if you get an early lead against the Titans, Derrick Henry's going to be eliminated from the game. And
I think you're absolutely right there. I don't know. I think the magic has to run out at some point. I think, I agree with you that Chiefs defense probably on the bottom half of the league, but I just think it's their time. I think it's Mahomes' time to shine. I think they have too much offensive firepower.
Andy Reid's time.
It's Andy Reid's time to get down to Miami. Enjoy the sun. I just think this is an easy one for the Chiefs. I took them straight up. I probably maybe we'll switch. Maybe throw a bet in there for the spread.
I'm going to say
the only reason I think the spread is going to be okay. If you're going to make a pick here, maybe you go Titans plus 7.5. It's just because of their ability to control the clock and maybe minimize the time that the Chiefs have with the ball. But I just still think they're too potent. The Titans defense is not great, and I just think they're going to outscore them. If they can eliminate the run and make Tannehill have to throw more than 70 yards like he has the past two playoff games, I think it's the Chiefs' formula for success there.
I'm going to say, I'll go on a mark and say whichever team scores the first touchdown will win the game there.
Okay. We'll have to keep that in mind for next week, getting ready for Super Bowl week. Let's move on to the Packers and 49ers.
This one, I think this is a pretty easy one. I will take the 49ers all day with the spread because the Packers, like I said, are not good. I just do not think they're a good team. Go look at their schedule, look at their wins, and now they don't have that whole Lambeau Field behind them. They don't have the snow. They don't have the conditions that usually they're successful in because they're obviously used to it. They're going to travel to San Francisco 49ers defense, and their defensive line is just going to be way too much for Aaron Rodgers to handle. So I would go ahead and, very comfortably go with the 49ers winning this game. And I think this is, I know you're saying this is the Chiefs' time, but I think it's the 49ers are going to win this game. And I think Chiefs and 49ers, if that is the way the Super Bowl goes, it's going to be a very good Super Bowl because you got a offensive powerhouse versus a defensive powerhouse.
See, I like the way you're thinking there, and then Cowboy Cerrone just coming in to the arena, and we're waiting here for McGregor to walk in. But the San Francisco 49ers, I guess, other than the Ravens, I think I would say they've been the second most dominant team all year long. I like the mystique and the magic that comes with the Packers. Again, they've just been so scrappy, and they've looked basically uninterested in winning football games. But I also like the underlying mystique of Chiefs versus Packers in the Super Bowl, NFL 100, celebration of Super Bowl I. I think it's in the cards. I think it's in the cards.
And I know that was Super Bowl I.
Super Bowl I was Chiefs Packers, and part of me thinks that
were they Kansas City Chiefs?
Yeah, it was the
Dallas Chiefs.
I think it was the Kansas City Chiefs at the time. So it'd be the Kansas City Chiefs and the Green Bay Packers. That'd be a nice little rematch of Super Bowl I. I think the Packers' offensive line is definitely better than the Vikings' offensive line. So I think they're going to give Aaron Rodgers a little bit of a chance. Again, it's going to depend on their as long as they can get their running game going, Devontae Adams and maybe Jimmy Graham has a little sneaky good game.
Yeah, the Packers are also a bottom 10 rush defense, and that is basically what San Francisco's success has come from.
You're right. They got Mostert and Breida's still there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who's there? Is Breida their number
Coleman.
one? Tevin Coleman. Yeah, they've got like a three-headed attack right now.
Absolutely.
Absolutely right. If they're definitely in the bottom 5 in rushing defense, it's going to be a challenge. I think they're going to have to commit, put 8 guys in the box, and they're going to have to force Jimmy G to win a game. We're going to see what Jimmy G is made of.
Yeah, absolutely. And they also are a bottom 10 passing defense, too. Wait, hold on. No, that's the wrong stat there. Hold on one second.
Yeah, that would be really interesting. The Packers' defense is bottom 10 overall, and then they're somehow 13-3. I guess it doesn't help.
Man, so the San Francisco 49ers have the number 3 rushing defense and the number 1 passing defense.
Wow.
Yeah. And then the Chiefs, their pass defense is actually not number 1. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. The Chiefs actually have the 8th pass defense. That's very interesting.
Really?
I did not know that. Yeah.
Yeah. So again, if the Chiefs just focus on taking away the run, I think Tannehill's gonna have some challenges in that game. And I mean, I think bottom in my heart, I think San Francisco's the much more talented team and probably the much more deserving team to go. But I'm telling you, the way the Packers have just hung around and just proven to us that they're just not.
Yeah, but we went through their schedule, and they just had a very easy schedule. They and anybody who they played that was over 500.
But and you're right, they got destroyed by the 49ers earlier this year, right?
Yeah.
So yeah,
and the Chargers.
So maybe it's going out to California is probably not a good thing for the Packers. But so let's move on to this week's picks. I think we've talked about them a little bit. Mike, we got him up there. We got I didn't know if you wanted the spreads or straight up when you sent me your picks. I put the straight up. So if you pick the spreads, of course your money value would go up a little.
Yeah, I picked them straight up. So I was going to go ahead. I don't know. I mean, if I can get this one, this will pay for about 80%. I'll get 80% of my Viper season tickets. So yeah, picking San Francisco for reasons I said earlier, and Titans. But like I said, first team to score a touchdown is going to win that game. So hopefully the Titans score first. Derrick Henry runs down their throats and puts the ball. Well, I mean, I guess I shouldn't say that because the Texans did score the first 3 touchdowns last week. But yeah, so I mean, I think this is going to be a good game. I'm excited to see the Titans play. I've really been on the Titans bandwagon ever since I got Tannehill like week 10 in fantasy football, and he helped my team stay afloat and make the playoffs. So, yeah, those are my picks, and let's see how it goes.
Then, of course, Moose's picks. We already kind of talked about them. We got Chiefs straight up first game, and then Packers, the underdogs with Packers and San Francisco. So I'm taking the Chiefs and the Packers. $20 parlay pays $73.82 on this one.
Get on that Moose cam.
Yeah, that's true. I got to switch it over, or at least a split cam, right? But $73.82 of the payout for $20. So right around in the neighborhood for maybe $36 at the $10 parlay for just those for the Chiefs and Packers straight up on the money lines.
But also here, I do like what you said about it being Super Bowl I. I did not know that or recall that. So if there is a cheap penalty, just like there was last year in the Saints-Rams game, as we all remember, I will say that it is scripted. It was rigged.
I don't believe the NFL would ever do anything to influence any game at all.
Oh, think about it. They probably already have
never.
Anybody who played or coached on Super Bowl already got their plane tickets to come.
They're gonna pull Vince Lombardi out of his grave. They have him frozen somewhere just so he can. Or no, maybe they'll do the hologram. They'll do hologram right on the sideline, just like they did with Tupac. They'll have the hologram of Vince Lombardi and Bart Starr and all the Packers and Chiefs that played in that first game.
They probably already have it all ready to go.
We got Moose's Monster teaser. Only down to 4 picks right now, so we took the 2 underdogs, and I think did I do 7 points? I did. So Titans becomes plus 14.5. Packers becomes plus 14.5. I took the over on Titans Chiefs and brought it down to 46, and I took the under for the Packers 49ers and pushed that up to 53.5. So let's Moose's Monster teaser. Hopefully we can hit this and get a few bucks back, because I have a feeling the Packers may not pull it off straight up this week. And here are the over-under picks without teasers. So right now the total points for Titans Chiefs is 53 and 46.5 for San Francisco and the Packers. Should have switched that, actually. San Francisco's the home team. I would take over 43 for the Chiefs. I think Chiefs-Titans, I think that could be potentially a little bit of a shootout, or maybe a Chiefs total domination with the Titans having some garbage points at the end. And then I think it's going to be defensive in San Francisco under 46.5. I like that. 46.5, I think, is a good number here for that game. That's Vegas being Vegas for sure. That was tough for me to really think on that. Any thoughts, Mike?
Yeah, I think this is the first time. Man, sorry. It is a Saturday night, late night. So
and the kid learned how to get out of the crib.
Yeah, so it's gonna be very tough to sleep here in the MRod household with my 3-year-old that discovered. It's like an and one trick. He's out of his crib now. It's really odd, but I mean, if we're giving him style points, it's doing pretty well. But yeah, it was actually the first time, I think, on the show.
McGregor's. Sorry to interrupt. Agreed. McGregor's about to win in 30 seconds here. Oh my God, he just destroyed Cowboy. Cowboy's bleeding. Yeah, they just called it, and McGregor wins in 40 seconds.
Damn.
Anyway, sorry.
No, damn. It wasn't even enjoyable for y'all UFC fans.
Man.
But yeah, no, I think that's the first time on $10 Sports here that I've actually agreed with you on your over and under and all of your picks, all 2 of them.
And we'll have to do a better job next year, kind of holding me accountable on the over/unders, because we kind of gloss over them, and the next week I never bring them up. So we'll make sure we see how we do on the over/unders next year.
That's because you don't like admitting that you're wrong.
Yeah, that's part of it too. I'm usually totally wrong on these, though I have hit a few of those picks over the year. I'll throw kind of a couple over/unders, and I'll win like $10 and $15 here and there.
Sweet.
I think that brings us to the end of our championship weekend show, guys. Thank you so much for listening to us. As a reminder, you can always watch our live or pre-recorded shows on YouTube, on our YouTube channel, The Sports Heap. And you can always listen to... Oh, there it is. Jimmy G's on the screen. You can always listen to our podcast as well. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and iHeartRadio.
Can we get the iHeartRadio logo up there?
I know, I got to get it on there. Got to squeeze it in there somehow, some way. And of course, if you're on YouTube, hit that subscribe button, give us a like, and follow us on Twitter. We've got the new handles down below, at Moose_TSH for me, the Sports Moose, and for MRod, at MRod_TSH. Actually, MRod, we got to showcase your new logo here before we close out. So if you're watching on YouTube, you can see it on the screen. Got our family of shows right above, and we were able to get MRod his own custom logo complete with the white fedora.
Yep.
So
I appreciate it, Moose. Good job on that.
We're excited to get that going. So make sure to give us a follow on Twitter. That's been it for $10 Sports tonight. We'll catch you next week getting ready for the Super Bowl. Have a great night.
And have a great night, and good luck for all you bettors out there this weekend.
Take care.
$10 Sports.